You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need, have coverage options to protect the things you value most, file a claim right on the State Farm mobile app, and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I thought I could leave it alone. I couldn't because I went out there. Ethan shoved Taylor under the bus and said Taylor hasn't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark either.
Yeah, but Taylor's a different kind of guy. The problem with Taylor is that he's never seen anything.
Any movie
whatsoever. He just watches tape. That's it.
No, he watches Kings of Queens, and that's it. Like that's that, and Everybody Loves Raymond. Like that's
Those
what he
are two
does.
good
He doesn't
shows,
watch
though.
anything else.
Doug Heffernan, he's a big Doug Heffernan guy. Is that what you're telling me?
He's a big Jerry Stiller guy.
Oh, Jerry Stiller's the best, man. R.I.P.
The Boca Vista.
But Raiders of the Lost Ark, this is like required viewing, right? Like
one of the greatest movies of all time.
Movies of all time.
Easily.
Movie. And my my kids, I showed my kids Rocky for the first time last weekend. Watched Rocky for the first time, and I was worried because Rocky 1 is slow.
Dangerous.
It's slow.
Violent.
No, violent.
No, not violent.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You know what my kids watch?
CTE, you're not worried about?
Violence is not the issue.
Violence is not the issue.
We agreed that
How
Rocky had
old is the
CTE
issue?
early in the game?
Yes.
Like, from day one?
From
Like,
day
he
one.
came- He came into the pros with CTE, we
Yes.
agreed? Okay.
Advanced.
It was like,
Not the fun kind
he shouldn't
either.
have been fighting.
How did it
if we
go?
can look back and be like, hey, maybe you should just keep the warehouse job.
How did it go though? Because I'm worried about that film age, and especially with a younger demo, it's risky.
It was so I was worried that it would be too slow for them.
Because it's a great film,
Yes.
and you want them to feel what you felt.
Yes.
But the times may change what they feel.
They liked it.
Oh, that's
They
great.
they liked it.
Oh, that's good
The
news.
two
Yeah.
Did they like the ending? Because the ending is not
they loved it.
super
They were
satisfying.
confused by the ending. They were like, "Wait, who won?" It wasn't clear, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll
It
pause."
wasn't clear. He announced it.
Yeah, but it's kind of
no,
It was a
because-
celebration.
No.
You can see how people
Roy,
are confused.
Roy, the way
which
it's shot,
for a combat sport is kind of
Roy,
you should not land
the
there.
way it's shot. First of all, like my kids don't watch boxing, so the idea of like the first judge had it 115, like they don't know what's happening. Right? Number two, the announcement is actually in the background because the foreground is Rocky going, Rocky, like so, and then they hug. And they see Apollo jumping. They don't know what. They're like, wait, who won? So I had to explain that to them. The other notes that we got, right? Number 2 is, when's Eye of the Tiger come on? And I had to explain to them, guys, Rocky 3. Which led me to, should I skip watching Rocky 2?
No.
No, Rocky 2 is good.
Is it?
You got to do them.
Rocky 2 is the one I've seen the least of
There's only
in my
one
life.
that you skip, and it's Rocky 5.
Oh, that never happened.
But you
Rocky
know what?
doesn't
I like
exist.
Rocky 5, man. I don't know what y'all
in my
talking about.
older
I like
age,
Really?
have become a lot more appreciative of Rocky 5.
Yeah.
I showed my kid 1 through 4, and we went one day binge watched all of them. He
It's
loved
for
it.
age now.
Oh, 4 is great.
4 is pretty good.
Yeah, but
4 is great. I watched
But there's so much ambiguity now.
Oh yeah. Well, are they our enemy? No, actually, now it's more resonant than ever. Like 15 years ago, it's like, what? Why are we mad at this Russian guy? Like now, it's like, yeah, it's back.
They were trying to
back.
get us, yeah.
Cold War back, baby. 20 CB.
Is that how you see it?
Yeah.
When's Mason the Line Dixon?
That's 6.
Rocky Balboa.
6. I call it Rocky 6. I'm not gonna do. And I call Creed Rocky 7, and I call Creed 2 Rocky 8.
What?
Yes, it's all Rocky.
Rocky
wasn't
8
even
is
in
wild.
8.
He wasn't in the second one.
No.
That would mean
The Creed series slowly making its way onto
Creed is good.
to GOAT black movie
Creed is
franchises.
really good, by the way.
absolutely.
Rocky
I love
7's
Creed.
like my third favorite Rocky.
Rocky 7 is really good, man.
Rocky 7's awesome.
Rocky 7 and
Rocky 8 ain't bad either.
that's the one with Drago's son, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. No, Rocky 8 is fire, bro. What are you talking about? Rocky 9 was the one with Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
That's
Again, good.
That's
Not bad.
I haven't seen that one. I don't think that's the one I haven't seen. Maybe we'll
good.
work our way up.
Yeah. No, he's working his way back.
Do you want me to give you the little synopsis for it, or do you just want to watch it?
It's like his friend goes to
His
prison.
friend, who's the better boxer,
Right.
when they were younger, goes to prison,
Comes
gets his
back
life taken
out.
away, and then Jonathan Majors feels like Creed took his life
Yeah,
and lived his life.
Is Jonathan Majors supposed to be like kind of like Clubber Lang, not quite, but a little bit of that?
He's more evil, much more evil.
He's a bad
Think
dude.
Clubber Lang?
Hold on, Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang was not a good dude.
Yeah,
No,
man.
no,
He went to
this
the-
guy's a bad
Say
dude.
woman.
This guy's a bad
Say
guy.
woman.
This guy's a bad dude. Although his narrative just gets like fast forwarded. The pacing on Rocky 9 ain't great.
Okay.
I
Is this
love
the-
that we're calling it Rocky 9.
It's Rocky 9.
He gets a
What is
world
it?
title shot very quickly.
But
That's all we're
you
saying.
guys are telling me
Cinderella story.
Rocky 2 has the rewatch value, right?
Well, Rocky 2 tells a story that everybody was like, well, Rocky 1 could have been better. How do we make Rocky 1 better? But by telling a similar story.
Yeah.
The other-
and help in making sure he wins.
Yeah,
That's-
secret
so that's-
sauce.
Secret
okay,
sauce,
yeah. So
baby.
this is what I've been
Wasn't what
leading
it
to.
could have
There
been.
ain't going to be no rematch.
Yeah, people. Yeah, that's when they're hugging at the end of Rocky 1, right?
yep.
But there was,
And they're, oh, new one.
as Creed taught us, there were 2 rematches.
Yeah, man. We recorded an episode of Cinephobe Top 5 the other day, and we were talking about worst parents in Cinephobe history, and I submitted as one of my outside looking ins Rocky and Rocky 4 because he's so sick and tired of being a dad and being a husband, he decides to fight in Russia on Christmas Day. Just get me away from my family as far as possible on Christmas Day.
And then Adrian shows up.
She shows up anyway because she's CT5 worst spouses. Just nagging. Had to follow him across. Yeah, she's just, you can't win. You see him. You know how strong he is. Oh, annoying, shrill voice. Shrill.
He should have took the fight. I mean, could we not be honest and say he shouldn't have fought the dude?
Who?
Anybody shouldn't have fought the dude?
You're saying
versus,
Apollo should not have
Drago?
fought the dude?
Apollo shouldn't have fought
It was
him.
an exhibition. He didn't know the dude was going to go like that.
Rocky shouldn't have fought him after he watched him kill Apollo.
Rocky should have thrown the towel earlier.
But again, think
Rocky gets a concussion every. Adrian, he's clearly concussed.
He
Can
is
we
a
get an
concussion.
independent neurologist out here?
That didn't exist at that time.
Or
They
do
didn't
we?
have
Is
those.
this
20 CB.
Is this shot that important?
20 CB, they just give you the smelling salts. You're good. He's good. He's awake again.
Look at my finger. All right, he's got to go.
A walking concussion.
Dude.
Walking concussion. He shouldn't
Think
have
about
fought.
this. Rocky left his wife and child on Christmas to go to Russia, communist Russia, to go fight a dude who murdered his friend in the ring. Like, you know how much of a bad husband and a bad father you have to be like, I'm going to do this over here on Christmas.
He's a good husband. He still visits the grave
He's a great friend
as
too.
as Rocky.
Oh, as Rocky 7.
Six,
Michael
as
Jordan-
Rocky
That
7,
motivational
8.
speech.
Well, and then he was not in 9.
No.
Michael Jordan would never fight the person who ended up killing you in the ring for you.
That's fair.
So this is why Rocky is maybe one of the best friends in.
I didn't say he's a great
history.
friend.
And wear your boxing trunks.
I think we got a LeBron Windy situation here. He never said he was his best friend.
Yeah, there
All
you
he
go.
said he's to go to the funeral.
He's going to go to the funeral.
Only
it.
friends go to funerals.
That's not true.
I've gone to a lot of
Why do we
funerals.
keep having a mean die before Michael Jordan?
A mean
Well,
started.
he's got the premonition.
Number
He's
one.
going to do it.
Number one.
Because
Number-
he wants Michael Jordan to go to his funeral.
Number
He's going
two.
to make sure it happens.
LeBron's not the only person spending 7 figures on their body. Michael Jordan is, except it's just cognac and cigars.
Yeah.
But still, that helped. Look at George Burns. He lived to like 112 or whatever. So there it is. Hawk.
Millions
Let me get
cognac and cigars a year on your body.
Let me get away from this before he decides he's not going to come.
Yeah, he's not. You see how I'm trying to dig into it? I'm trying to make sure I keep my money. Like, I can't believe.
I'm sorry, Mike.
All you said he spends his money on is cigars and cognac.
Mike, I'm sorry. I was just playing. I'm playing, Mike. You know, I like to play, Mike.
With friends like you, who needs enemies?
I like Hennessy too.
So Hawk,
I like him.
Mike's not drinking Hennessy, by the way.
Yeah, he's
Remy.
Louis the 13, baby.
A little higher.
Hawk, you had umbrance. You took umbrance. You took issue with something that Dan said on the show about, was it Russell Wilson?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, about how it's so sad that he gets to go make up to $21 million with the New York Giants, and that it's a terrible ending to a career. I completely disagreed with that take. I think he might be the happiest person in all of free agency.
Dude, you get to live your, like, it's like, what do they call them? When people go play, not fantasy baseball, but like when people pay a bunch of money to go play on Yankee Stadium.
Like fantasy,
like Billy Crystal.
Yeah, like fantasy camp, right? Except it's real.
Except it's real.
Like, that's crazy. It's like going to Westworld for Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
You go in there and like, oh yeah, these robots are actually trying to kill me. Like,
I can't see a world at all where Russell Wilson, I'm not even kidding, not even a single point of it I can see where he would be disappointed in how things transpired, especially given where he was with the Denver Broncos. And he was positive in that situation.
Yeah.
And it was clearly him and his coach did not get along. His coach hated his guts.
Yep.
He got cut in a season where he was playing decent. And the thing about it is he didn't finish last year great. He is aging. Everyone does. He's not a young quarterback, but he's not playing that far off of the way that he's always played. And that is just the things, elements around him. And now he gets to go to New York media market with his superstar wife.
Well,
and
superstar? No.
Back into Sierra's a
She
superstar,
was a superstar.
bro.
We're doing this off of follows.
She was a superstar. She was a huge superstar.
She's more famous worldwide.
Yes.
I would argue she's more famous now than she's ever been.
No.
Nah, that can't be true.
1-2 step, sir?
That you guys are living in a moment. Like, she's more visible now.
No, she's
with
not.
The injection of sports.
She had the biggest song on the planet.
The biggest song on the planet. She had the Missy
I don't think it was the
cosign.
biggest. I think you guys were really, really into hip hop at the time.
At that time,
At that
absolutely.
time.
It was
Yes,
certifiably one of my passions.
Yes, that was one of
in
that
that
was the
era. 100%.
I still think
When
Sierra
Luda
is as
hopped on the
big a
track,
superstar.
what the meanest, whip. Come on, man.
I didn't say it wasn't fire.
Dip.
I didn't say I wasn't in the parties going hammer.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying she's still a superstar.
She is.
And they're now in the media market of New York as opposed to Western Pennsylvania.
Sure. No, look, hey, man.
You know what else grinds my gears? I'm sorry to cut you off.
What's that?
Like, we were doing this thing. We let Dan perpetuate this. Aaron Rodgers and Stugotz, last five games.
Yeah.
And then I look at Russell Wilson's last 5 games. Very comparable, except Russell Wilson was actually playing real teams.
Yeah,
in
meaningful.
real games.
Meaningful
against
football.
teams trying to win their football games instead of whatever the hell they had going on with the Jets.
Now do that with Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 years, and you will see that it's the same thing.
I'm gonna tell you,
he's played better than, and yet we
and he's
still
5
are
years younger.
More excited about Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't look now, but I think Russell Wilson's going to do better in New York than Aaron Rodgers did. Oh, wait. I shouldn't have said that.
It's time. New game.
I like that.
Don't look now.
It's not a new game. And it's a terrible game.
I'm glad you said don't look now.
Hold on.
I'm glad you said don't look now. Go ahead, Roy.
All right, Don't Look Now is presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. Tony?
Absolutely is the world's '1 vodka. Okay. Boy, so obviously we talked about Russell Wilson.
I'm
That's on my don't look now sheet.
Really
Don't look now.
concerned about a lot of things, Tony, before you
going on?
start. Well, number one, I don't know what Mike is doing to Pat Riley.
That'll get you
I know that
pocket
Pat
change.
Riley has a case, an HR case. Number two, you guys have recruited Andrew Hawkins into this somehow.
I wish I got a real blindfold.
Well,
'Cause I
Hawk,
can
you got to
kinda
close
see
your
the
eyes at least.
Okay, they're closed.
Okay, good.
All right.
Don't look now. We haven't even mentioned this on the show. I don't know who's behind me. We haven't.
It's Pat Riley.
Foot? What is
Pat Riley?
Don't look now. Stephon Diggs is a Patriot.
Yeah.
Not mentioned, not uttered once on this show, by the way, last week.
was
Stephon
kinda
Diggs.
crazy.
Now with Drake May. Interesting veteran receiver, veteran presence. Is it a good veteran presence? I don't know. That's why we're not looking.
He wasn't that bad.
He wasn't that great.
But it's like the first had too, so
This is the first piece of analysis Mike has ever offered in this segment.
That is true. But again, Mike likes it. Drake May. Hawk, what do you think? Getting a veteran guy in there, trying to help them out.
You got to develop your young quarterback. You know who's really good at helping develop young quarterbacks with rocket arms at 6'5" with a lot of potential? Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen, ring a bell? Anybody? I love it.
Mac Hollins at the 2. What if they go up and draft Travis Hunter too? Nice little 1, 2, 3.
I can't believe how much we talk about Mac Hollins. And Taylor introduced me to that name like a year and a half ago, and now he's a superstar. Like Sierra.
I like how we barricaded Mike, by the way. Good job, Billy.
I have no idea what Mike's doing because I'm not looking now.
There you go.
Don't look now. And it's actually gaining steam. Diana Rossini commented on this and reported this earlier today.
You guys talk into the mic.
Where's my mic?
You got to talk into it, Mike.
The Packers were one of the teams that tried to ban the tush push.
Oh.
And now it's starting to gain some steam where across the league, there may be some people led by the Packers that want to cancel the tush push.
Got to do it. Has to happen.
There we go. I'm back. All right, what else do I have here? Don't look now.
You're looking at your paper.
Well,
how is that possible?
What up? It's the psychic thing where I can see where the Ark of the Covenant is. I just can't see exactly where.
How many soldiers?
200. Sorry. Vikings have not. Yeah, hold on. Give me. The Vikings have not. Oh, I got his hand. The Vikings have not commented on the QB1 for their team. Is it gonna be JJ McCarthy? Could it be Aaron Rodgers? They haven't closed the door yet. Don't look now.
Hawk, how surprised are you that the door isn't closed on Aaron Rodgers everywhere?
I'm not surprised because he is a great talent, and he still is one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the league physically. The question is what comes along with him off the field and being a 42-year-old in the locker room that you don't really feel like you need to be subjected to everything every player is subjected to. How does that play?
Hawk, let me ask you a question. As you got older, was there any part of the locker room environment that you were like, I'm too old for this? Not necessarily the physical, but just like...
So much of it. By the time I retired, when I got plus 30, I hung out more with the coaches than I did the players. Just because I'm married with kids.
Right.
You got 21-year-olds coming in here with music I don't know. I was very much the old guy. That's how me and Joe Thomas became friends, because he's an offensive lineman. I'm a wideout, but we're both old as hell. And he was the only person I could talk to about like older person things in the locker room. So it loses you quick.
Yeah. So and you said you hang out with the coaches. Yeah. How do the coaches receive that? Like, is there any part of it? Oh, okay.
I gotta see. I gotta look now. I'm sorry. It was.
Yeah, segment's over.
Segment's been over.
Nobody was gonna tell me.
We just wanted to see how much longer you were to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Howdy, everybody. It's Mike Ryan. Have you heard of Gold Belly? I hope you have, because that means you listen to our show and you know how much I love this amazing site that I order from all the time, where you can get some of the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the U.S., and they will ship it to your front door for free anywhere in the country. I'm telling you, I've received iconic foods from all across the country. Wings, barbecue. It doesn't matter. Gold Belly has me covered. Gold Belly will ship you iconic deep dish pizza from Chicago, from Lou Malnati's, or New York's best, most famous cheesecake from Junior's. If you're craving barbecue, they ship the legendary Franklin's Barbecue straight from Texas to your door. And you have to try the one and only world-renowned stone crab delivered from Joe's right here in Miami. Whether it's a dish from that one-of-a-kind restaurant or meals from world-famous chefs, Gold Belly has you covered. So, if you're looking for that perfect gift, or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal the next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get free shipping and 20% off your first order with promo code DAN. That's goldbelly.com, code DAN for free shipping and 20% off your first order.
Hey there, travelers and dreamers. We all have that dream trip that we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life just gets in the way, whether it's work, family responsibilities, or, in my case, and I'm sure many of yours, price. But your dream trip doesn't have to stay a dream any longer, because Priceline is here to help you book it with millions of deals on hotels, flights, cruises, and rental cars. That bucket list destination? Yeah, it's a lot closer than you think. You know, I've been wanting to go see the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's like at the top of my list of bucket list destinations of baseball parks around the country. And because I now know about the type of deals that Priceline offers, I may pull the trigger this summer and go see those Pirates. Priceline makes it easy and stress-free to book a flight and a hotel so I can go see my team play live. With millions of travel deals like up to 60% off hotels, I know I'll be able to find great options even when I need to book last minute. So don't just dream about that next trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com to go to your happy price. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply. Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.
Don Batard.
If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
Stugotz.
Standing outside with my mouth open wide. If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Guys, are you excited as I am for this new Statham movie?
A working man?
A working man.
I just saw the preview right now. Where's my laptop?
It's always an occupation.
It's
like wrestlers in the early 90s, late 80s.
I love these new Statham movies, which is always, I'm just a guy minding my business, but then somebody messes with an innocent person.
But I'm also an elite fighter.
No, but someone messes with an innocent person in my life.
Steven Seagal?
I don't like that. I can't do a Statham. So I just do this voice right here. It's like someone messes with an innocent person in my life who really isn't in my life. It's tangentially in my life. So maybe it's my neighbor, like it was in The Beekeeper, or maybe it's like the daughter of my best friend, like it is in A Working Man. But now that they mess with him, I've got to destroy their whole criminal organization. Just me, just the man.
I love it.
Did you guys see Beekeeper, by the way?
No.
Oh, he was an occupation.
Beekeeper was hilarious. Hilarious, including a line like, most people don't know honey is one of the most flammable liquids ever, and he lights it on fire and the guy goes,
is that so?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Really?
I don't know if it's real.
Does that?
No way. I don't.
Can you light honey on fire?
Apparently it's very flammable according to Beekeeper.
I gotta watch Beekeeper. I would imagine they just wouldn't make something up like that, although films do tend to do that.
I mean, it's a movie. It's Hollywood, baby.
Hollywood.
I remember like the whole plot to the film XXX was the submarine in landlocked Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
In their defense, the submarine could fly.
Oh.
Flying submarine. It's a supermarine at that point, right? Well, submarine is not. And if it were just a boat, it would be a marine. Get it?
Yeah.
Everything in movies is real. It's just not revealed yet. So
yeah, like the Ark of the Covenant.
Don't
exactly.
Don't look now. Oh no! Hold on. No. And it's
No.
Jesus.
We're back, baby.
Where's my laptop?
No. Kill that music, please.
We're back.
One of the big stories in sports, and Mike, I'm glad you're here and looking now. I want you to be looking now because this is a big story in sports. I call it the biggest Cinderella story in sports.
UFL kicking off.
No, almost.
Roughnecks, Battlehawks.
Not a Cinderella story.
Shout out to the Battlehawks.
The biggest Cinderella story in sports is the Sudanese national team in soccer, right? So if you don't know, I'm from Sudan, and our country has been at war.
Just like Akbar.
Yeah, just like Akbar Domestique, has been at war for a good 2 years now, where there's no infrastructure, there's no safety. It's the largest number of displaced people in the world right now, the biggest refugee crisis in all the world. And so the Sudanese national team, as a result, has not been living in Sudan, has not been playing home games in Sudan. They've had to live in Libya and play their home games there. And everyone who listens to the show knows I'm a huge Brazil fan because growing up in Sudan, you're like, well, Sudan's never going to be good. So we all adopted Brazil as that's our country. And it's been an unrewarding experience to watch Brazil be awesome and excellent. But this is different. Because now the Sudanese national team that doesn't live at home, that doesn't play its home games at home, has been on this miraculous Cinderella run over the last year and a half, where they've qualified the African Nations Cup, and they're currently number one in their World Cup qualifier group. And so they had a big game last week against Senegal. And Senegal is a team that has a lot of big-name guys. Sadio Mane, to give you an example. They got a bunch of guys that play in the EPL, and they play at the top levels of European football.
Traditional AFCON power.
Power, right? Like you talk about the biggest teams in Africa, like the perennial, the Dukes, the North Carolinas of African soccer. It's Nigeria, it's Senegal, it's Ghana, right? Those are the three. And then everyone else kind of get in where you fit in. Algeria, I guess you could put them in there as well. And so for Sudan to go and play against Senegal and not only come out with a draw, but like kind of should have won the game. It was something that was magical. And I was wondering, Mike, because you are a soccer guy, is this a story that's resonating with soccer people? I know Master Tesfacion went on Golazzo and he did a segment on it, but for the soccer heads overall, is this a story that's resonating, or is this still kind of...
I think it might. If you look across the globe, too, there's plenty of those stories, especially in the Middle East. There's a lot of countries that would make for incredible storylines if they were to make it to
a World Cup.
A World Cup, especially here in North America. Geopolitically, there's a lot that put the host committee in a precarious situation, although the World Cup usually transcends that stuff. But given the current climate, it'd be hard to ignore. I do think that it's resonating. You still have to seek it out. AFCON qualifying region does not get a lot of attention over here just because it's not readily available.
Right.
You have to really seek this out. But as we march closer, I really do think that come summertime, with the formal ramp-up of the Club World Cup that also kicks off down here in Miami, I believe with Inter Miami, you're going to start seeing these media entities start putting together narratives as the picture becomes a little clearer. It's also a little bit difficult here in this country because I don't think... it's been damn near 30 years since the United States hasn't had to go through a qualification process.
Right.
So things that happened last week with the United States losing,
it doesn't matter to the people.
It doesn't really resonate because all they know is World Cup. Yeah. We're not really having our position jeopardized anyway because they've already qualified as a host nation.
I want to put this out there. If Sudan makes a World Cup, and obviously the World Cup's going to be here, Canada, and Mexico in a year. Wow, it's coming right up. If Sudan makes a World Cup, I've already announced that I am going to be the host for all of this. I'm going to take the team out to dinner. We're going to go to Fogo de Chao because we want that Brazilian energy in us, right? And I'm going to be doing the media rounds. I'll do ESPN, I'll do Fox, I'll do everything. I'm going to make this a thing.
It should be.
Because I want this to be visible because I think people need to understand, it's insane to not know if your family members are alive or healthy and have to go out there and compete. And again, I'm trying to think of what the American equivalent is. It would be like McNeese State playing against the Bulls.
Only if they were coming from like a war-torn part of the country.
Right. Well, I'm just saying the war-torn stuff apart. Like this isn't like
it could do so much good.
It's the war-torn stuff apart. It's also like the talent gap. Like we don't have anybody that's close to what these teams are bringing to the table.
Yeah, and just even if it's for a brief moment, you have on that continent, Didier Drogba famously helped end a civil war and introduce a peacetime just for the Ivory Coast, which is also probably in that group of AFCON blue bloods. But the attention that it would bring to a cause which, as you know, is so underrepresented in the news cycle, especially here in the United States, because we're just so infatuated with our own problems over here, to have that kind of attention can do some real legitimate good, even just from a fundraising perspective, even if it just impacts the lives of the players and the families of those players. Everybody should be rooting for this. Everybody should be rooting for what's happening.
Absolutely. Now, should everybody be rooting for the UFL?
They should. Spring ball matters. We have a testament to non-NFL.
Spring ball?
No, you played in the CFL, but it was the CFL
not a developmental league. It's been around longer than the NFL, Mike.
Did you see the Trey Lance story?
No.
Trey Lance may be going north of the border. To help revive his career.
Forgetting his roots.
To go build a career.
Are you one of the greatest underdog stories in the history of the Cleveland Browns organization?
I'm the secret sauce.
Are you actually going to come out against the UFL?
No, I love the UFL.
The UFL is great.
I just take issue with you pointing to me about a league I did not play in.
Well, as someone that cut his teeth in a league that wasn't the NFL and then rode that league to the superstardom that you did, multiple contracts in the NFL, world's quickest man, you would know that what's going down tonight in Houston between the Roughnecks and the Battlehawks is of import.
That's an intro.
Is there?
That's the intro I was
That's
trying
what he's
to get
looking
to.
for, yeah.
Thank you.
Is there an Andrew Hawkins of the UFL?
There's plenty of good stories in the UFL. Like right now, Job Pearson.
That's made it. That's
made it?
Like that's the Hawk story. The Hawk story is he started there and then he made it. Not a guy who could make it, a guy who did make it.
Turpin.
Turpin's probably the best story.
He was at UFL?
There was who was that
Got a
tight
nice little
end
contract just now.
tight end for the Chargers. Oh my God, backup tight end.
Antonio Gates.
No, I'll get it. I'll find the name. But there were good stories, and then never forget what COVID took away from us.
Which is
the Roughnecks Battlehawks. I mean, collision course for the championship.
Yeah.
Jordan Tiamo and PJ Walker, who were lighting the world on fire.
PJ Walker, another guy, had a couple.
PJ Walker was a great story, and he was legitimately good in that league. We got Anthony Brown starting at quarterback for the Roughnecks. We got Max Dugan. We got a loaded offense for the Battlehawks. It got Hakeem Butler, who is a huge producer at wide receiver for them.
McCarron's still there?
We got
AJ McCarron?
McCarron.
Wait, he's
on
playing?
the outs of the league.
Hold on.
I'm like 90% sure this game goes down because there's all sorts of talk that there might be a work stoppage.
Wait a second. Is this a Brian Scalabrine situation? You know, Brian Scalabrine played in the Big Three. Do y'all know that?
Yes.
Very briefly.
Yep.
And then he went to broadcasting after that because he was like, I'm too old for this. But like the idea of like, I'm a broadcaster, but then I come back and I work out and then I play. Is that what's happening with AJ McCarron?
Has been very vocal. I wasn't a huge fan of the merger because they kind of sided with the USFL way of doing things, which meant they had to use that union. They took some of their rules. Thankfully, the XFL kickoff that the NFL adopted is back in what was formerly known as the XFL. But the UFL, I don't know, it's just not doing it. It's not as extreme, I guess. I miss the XFL.
Yeah.
I don't like the UFL as much, but I'll give it time, and hopefully with the second year. But there's all sorts of reports being done right now. The players still exhausting every option because they're not happy with the compensation that they're getting. I mean, I do think today's game is going to go down, but AJ McCarron has been one of those outspoken voices, especially for the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks came out in unison and said that their pay wasn't right. But McCarron's not playing for the Battlehawks anymore, no.
Yeah, and also I think you're confusing Greg McElroy with A.J. McCarron, who are both former Alabama quarterbacks. One is an analyst for ESPN.
Which one had the hot girlfriend that Musburger?
AJ McCarron.
McCarron. Although, to be fair, I don't know what McElroy's working with.
But the famous one where who was it? Was it Brad Nessler?
Nessler? No, Musburger.
Brad Musburger.
Yeah, Musburger.
That's
Yeah,
that's the one you're thinking of. It's McCarron.
Okay.
But we got football under the Friday night lights.
I love it. My question, and this is very, I don't even want to qualify it, but okay, so the players that are fighting for the money and all the things, it feels a little premature.
What is?
Like I don't know what the UFL makes. I don't know what those TV contracts look like. I don't know what the CBS. So I'm coming in this unchecked.
That's how we like it.
That's how we like it here, right? But I will say that when I'm looking at the UFL, to your point about CFL, my opportunity there being similar, is I'm looking at it as an opportunity to build a profile and tape to try to make it to the NFL.
Yes.
Versus creating a career out of the UFL. Now, there will be players that do so, and
not
that's
by
great.
choice.
Not by choice, so. And I kind of feel like it's cutting your nose off to spite your face a little bit for a work stoppage in a scenario where you guys are trying to put enough film out there to make it to the big show, which is kind of the whole premise around quote unquote spring football in the first place. So that's not it's not disrespectful to the UFL to say you're a feeder league to the NFL, because that's how it's built, versus the CFL truly views themselves as a self-contained professional league in their country that has been around longer than the National Football League.
Did you mention that the CFL is older than the NFL?
I did.
Wow. Is that true?
It is true.
Yeah. What?
Absolutely true. Yes. It is the OG.
Like, you mean older than the merger?
No.
Older than the actual league?
Older than the actual league. And then also, you got to realize, in the 70s,
1956 is what I'm looking at.
The salaries are comparable.
Not older than the NFL then.
Well, then that is the merger.
You know
the
what?
NFL it's older than the NFL. No.
NFL was founded in 1920. The CFL was founded in 1958.
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
I think we need CFL merch for
I don't
Hawk.
think that's right.
CFL.
I would love CFL merch.
Anybody who works for the CFL, can we send some CFL merch to Hawk so he can wear it on the show next time?
At least we admitted on the front end, we are not informed on this at all.
Again, unchecked. That's how we like it around here. Everything's unchecked. When you guys have a cleaning person coming to your house, Do you clean your house first for the cleaning person?
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Not slobs around here.
We had the cleaning lady the other day, right?
Yeah.
A couple of days ago. And the night before, I got a baby. I got a 3-month-old kid. Very hectic in my life, right? Yeah. Baby's screaming, crying. We got to give her a bath. We got to put her down. We got to do this. We got to do that. Yep. By the time I get home, my wife's like, hey, the cleaning lady comes tomorrow. We got to clean up. And I'm like, we're paying her to clean up.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but we got to clean up before she cleans up.
Yeah.
So we don't look like slobs and we don't look like, dirty people. And I'm like, I get that. I'll put away a couple of things that we've got out. But, like, I'm not going to physically get on my hands and knees and scrub something that she is going to scrub tomorrow.
Now, here's the deal. There's part of it that is to save face, right? Absolutely. I feel like this is a universal. This isn't a 2 Americas thing, right? This is universal.
3 Americas.
3 Americas. 4 too.
4 Americas.
Just got to close the loop. Donald Parham.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Parham the interruption.
The dishes have to be done.
Yeah, look, some of it is to save face, right? Some of it is you don't want, like, these people are like, oh, these people are animals, right? But there's another part of this. There's actually 2 other elements to why you clean up before the cleaning people show up. Number 1 is you clean up the things that I don't want you messing with.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm going to put this stuff away because I don't trust.
Because you don't know where it goes. I know where it goes.
Exactly. And one of the things I hate about the cleaning people is when I open like a drawer and like, where the hell is the thing? And like, oh, they put it in this cabinet over here. Like, we never put the bottle opener there. Why would it be there, right? Number 2, and this one is huge, because if it's too much of a hard work, they might half-ass it. So I'm going to get rid of the original kind of surface level
You're going to
stuff.
do like 25%, so they only have to do 75% instead of 100%.
Not only do they only have to do 75%, they have to do the hard 75%. I'm going to get rid of the aesthetic, like, superficial part of the dirt. Like, all right, now you got to scrub that part that won't come out.
So instead of them half-assing, you're half-assing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why you clean before the cleaning people show up.
It's just like, I don't get it because I had to clean my house at 11 o'clock, and it's like,
that's annoying.
Who put all these shoes here? Why are all the shoes? There's 11 pairs of shoes in the house. Why are they here?
I kind of feel like this is.
I'm running up the stairs with 9 shoes, trying not to wake the baby up. One shoe falls off. My wife's like, why'd you? I'm like,
Tony, I'm not trying to sow seeds of discontent in your household, but I kind of feel like when it's you, her, and the baby, it's pretty obvious whose shoes are who.
Yes, of course.
Like, I got a problem in my house because I got kids, multiple, and 2 of them are twins, and so whose shoes
How old
are
are your
these?
twins? I got twins too.
My twins are 11.
Mine are 10.
For real?
Come on, put it there.
Twin life.
My bad.
Did you find that once you had twins, you started meeting people who had twins left and right?
That's all you see.
That's all you see is twins.
You should go to the Twinsburg Twin Festival in Ohio.
Oh yeah?
All the twins
is in the summertime
converge in Twinsburg, Ohio, to have a festival. All twins.
By the way, twins.
File. There it is. I have a brother.
Also, the Grey Cup is older than
the Super Bowl.
It's 1909 was when the Grey Cup was.
All right, so I have some clarification.
Thing, not a
but it was a
CFL thing.
The CFL is older than the NFL in the merger. I wouldn't find that.
All right, so courtesy of ChatGPT, which has been wrong about Hawkins-driven topics before.
It's a little racist, but go ahead. I'll allow it.
NFL was founded in 1920.
Okay.
CFL was formed in 1958.
Okay.
Through a merger of various Canadian football organizations. However, Canadian football itself has its roots going back to the 1860s, which predates American football.
Yes.
But the official CFL organization came much later than when the NFL started.
Yeah.
Right.
So Canadian football is older than Reconstruction.
Well, what about college football?
But that's how the NFL is too, though. Like all those leagues, that's what they consider the NFL. But also the CFL, like the roots of the NFL are from 1920 something.
Is there a really old franchise inside the CFL that is older than the CFL itself? Because that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, what's the oldest CFL franchise?
I don't know.
Will you get on that? Find out what.
I will find out.
Even though this is contrary to what we want to do, we want to do unchecked. But I'm asking you to check.
Do you remember when Baltimore was in the CFL?
Oh, that was a time.
Stallions, right?
They brought back the Colts, I believe.
Baltimore Stallions.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah, it was a horse of some sort.
Yeah.
So the Grey Cup originally was a hockey trophy, and then
Rugby.
the league that handed out the trophy then got another trophy, so they gave it to the Canadian Dominion football champion. So they just were like, well, we have this extra trophy. You guys can have
It's a
it.
hand-me-down?
It's efficient.
Hawk, we got another point in your favor right
Let's
now.
go. I'm
The
telling
Toronto Argonauts are the oldest franchise in the CFL and the oldest professional football team in North America. They were founded in 1873.
Come on. What are we talking about here?
While the CFL as a league was officially formed in 1958, several teams, like the Argonauts, predate the league by decades.
You think I would just peddle that stat? You don't think I've heard that a million times?
Well, you said the CFL
player?
is older than
I
the
know,
NFL.
but it is.
You gotta get that. See, that's why we check.
It is.
Yeah,
The
see, that's why we
NFL,
check
the
right
merger
now.
didn't happen till the 60s.
Right.
We're really bending over backwards to make you right.
Thank you.
We're trying.
The field goal post in the front of the end zone, that's a Canadian thing. That's where they got it from.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's the reason why they changed it.
Yeah, because it's Canadian.
Safety.
Because they're
We got
not
this from
fun.
Canada.
So we still like big hits. We got an extra defender out there.
If you could take one rule from modern day CFL and apply it to the NFL, is it running starts?
1 point. Rouge.
One, I don't know. I don't think it's running starts. I think it's no fair catches.
Oh.
No fair catches, no touchbacks.
You hated returning punts.
CTE.
I did,
City.
but we had a 5-yard halo. So no fair catches, no touchbacks.
But you're like strict with the halo.
But if you're inside of 5 yards when I catch the ball, it's a penalty. And also, if I take a knee in the end zone, the defense gets 1 point.
What about a slightly wider field than the NFL?
That's fun. You want
Metric.
big scores and touchdowns?
Wait,
Make the field wide.
is that why the field is wider? Is it the metric system?
It's in meters, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not the.
I don't
It's
think
not
that's
equal.
why.
It's still like the field is 110 yards long, which would be 100 meters
yeah.
to the NFL's 100
Hold on.
yards. The end zones are 20 yards long. Each end zone. So you could be on the 10-yard line,
But sideline-
throw a 25-yarder for a tub.
Sideline to sideline is also wider. right?
Sideline to sideline
So
is also
hold on.
wider.
So when they're like, okay, it's third down and 35 meters, like this.
No, they don't do that because there's only 3 downs in the CFL. So third down and 35 meters, you better punt it.
You got to punt it.
You go
Only
2 and
3
out.
downs, dude. Only 3. Okay,
You talk. I mean,
hold on
the
now.
offense
Hold
has
on
a
now.
big advantage in the CFL.
You want to make NFL football more fun. Less downs.
Less downs.
Less
baby.
downs. Why are we doing 4 downs? Let's go 3 downs.
Hey, you're preaching my language right now, brother. There is no football that was more fun to me than playing in the CFL.
Why isn't CFL football
Except
more
for money.
popular? Or do they play at the same time as the NFL? Is the season?
It starts earlier,
Starts
but
earlier.
yeah.
It gets a lot colder earlier.
Yeah.
Championship
So-
is like Thanksgiving
we,
weekend.
we have an update on the Baltimore Stallions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Former Grey Cup champion, Baltimore Stallions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We took
Took
the
it
Grey
from
Cup
them,
to
Went down there and this is like with
The
the
year they
Raptors.
folded too. They won the Grey Cup and that was it.
It's really unfortunate.
Leave on top like George Costanza, right?
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
I mean,
they relocate or they just totally shutter? We'll keep working it.
Yeah. I'm fascinated though by this idea of could the CFL be a TV product that would be successful in the U.S. if their season just didn't coincide with the thing that takes
No.
everyone's attention?
The answer is no, because each roster has to have at least 19 Canadians.
Okay.
Right, so there's also certain positions that are more Canadian than others. We'll call it that way.
Like what?
Like offensive linemen.
They're all
a lot of the
Canadian.
O linemen
yeah,
are
that
Canadian.
makes sense.
Safety. You have a lot of Canadians.
You're talking about secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
Nationalism.
Possession slot receivers.
It may come as a shock. They have black guys
You know?
out there.
No, I know. I'm saying, but their secret sauce.
But
that needs
their
to be
secret
there.
sauce is in those linebacker. you
Linebacker
know.
must be a great Canadian.
You're not
position.
going to see a lot of white corners in the CFL. You're
D
not going to
linemen,
see
a lot of nose
of
tackles.
outside receivers.
So the further
who
away
are
from
down.
the ball, the less Canadian.
There's just hey, we can find that here. They don't come to America to get things they can find to feed the ratio.
A big 6'6", 330-pound guy.
We got that
We got
right
plenty
here
of
in Nova
those.
Scotia. That's nothing to us.
When
you know?
a lumberjack
Hit
show.
Saskatoon, we got ourselves a linebacker straight out of Calgary. Not a big deal, you know? So there's that. So that would make it tough. Because also, and this goes to the UFL as well, what the NFL does great is they do great character development. Right? There's a cycle.
Really?
Like we see the high school kids. This kid's a 5-star. Jeremiah Smith, where's he going to go? Miami, Ohio State. Goes to Ohio State. You've watched him there. And then as they get to the NFL, you're now seeing pass or fail. And then they do well. And the Lamar Jackson story arc is nuts. It's hard for the UFL because I don't know these guys.
Yeah.
And there's no way to get me as caught up. But you're giving me the same broadcast. CFL is the same way.